Hi everyone, here's a day 3 summary of the 100 Days of Swift class. And day 3 was focused on operators and conditions. So if you're coming from another programming language, I think almost all this should be very familiar. If you're brand new to programming, you might want to go for an even more basic class. But in terms of operators, you have the usual plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk for multiplication, and slash for division. And there's also a modulo operator, which is for getting the remainder when you are doing a division. So those are, I think, pretty standard. I'll just let's give a quick example here. Two variables, and then if you have right 6 plus 2, or 6 divided by 3, and you can run this because it's in the play box. I'm sorry, I meant to say x plus y and x plus y or x divided by y. And then we play, and modulo, just to, let's see, give an example. Let's see, 6 divided modulo 4 will give you, goes in once, and you'll have a remainder of 2. So that was covered. There's also a shortcut. If instead of saying x equals x plus 1, you can do shorthand. It's called a compound operator, so that works for plus, minus, multiplication, division. The other thing Paul covered was you can actually overload the plus operator. So it doesn't apply just to numbers or integers, but you can also do strings. So something like this. Well, you're literally adding 2 different strings. Might be good to put a space in there, and then you'll get 2 strings added together or concatenated. Now, in addition to operators, another key concept in programming languages is logic or conditions. So a lot of times you'll see if-else statements across many languages. So to give an example, if x is greater than y, then you'll say do something. In this case, just print something. If it isn't, then you do another piece of logic. So this is a sort of standard if-else, and this is how you do it in Swift. In addition, like other languages, if you're going to have a whole bunch of these if-else's nested together, sometimes it's better just to, let's say you have a variable called age. You could just say, okay, I'm going to have a lot of different conditions I want to check for. So if age is, this, then we basically have a newborn, right? And so on and so forth. Now the other cool thing is you can have these range operators. So that will say it's not just one value, but a range of values. So if the age is between 1 and 19, you have something else. And in a switch statement, you also always want to have a default. So some, to cover cases that you don't explicitly list out. So this is an example of a switch statement. And I think one more thing to go along with these if-else statements and the logic is when you want to combine these things, you put either a double ampersand, which means and, or you do 2 vertical bars, and that means or. So an example of this is if, let's say if x is greater than y and y is greater than 0, then we do something here. So that's if you want both of these conditions to be true. If you do the double vertical, that means if either one of those is true. And there's also, if you're trying to compare values, you do either a double equal, saying, hey, if y equals 2, then that's true, or if y doesn't equal 2 is a exclamation point equal. So that's kind of a quick run through of operators and conditions. Pretty basic, again, if you're coming from other languages, but definitely a building block, and good to know the syntax for the Swift language.